Legend of Total War here, and today I'm going to be doing a react video to Total War 25th Anniversary Total War Medieval 2 England Let's Play, which the main official Total War channel published this video about 2 hours ago. I've already chucked it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll leave a link to this video in the description if you want to go check it out. Highly recommend that you guys support this stuff. It's Medieval 2, that's a fan favorite for this channel. One of my favorite games of all time, Medieval 2. I think it's still, even though it's nearly 20 years old, I think it still holds up really well even now. So what I did was I was watching this for about 3 minutes and then thought, wow, there was within that 3 minutes quite a lot that I could have reacted to. So then I basically restarted the video and thought I'll react to it. So everything from 3 minutes beyond, I have no idea what's in it, and I'll be reacting to that completely blind, but I'm aware of what's going to happen in the first 3 minutes. Anyway, this is going to be fairly lighthearted. I'm going to comment on the stuff that I think is they're making a mistake on, and also praise them on the things that I think they're actually correct about making their decisions in the stuff here. So it won't just be one-sided all criticism or one-sided all praise. I'm trying to keep it somewhat balanced. It's pretty much aware that most people, when they look at these videos, go, the creative simply don't really know how to play Medieval 2, and that kind of becomes apparent when you watch this, at least at the beginning. But we'll try to be as fair as possible. I'm not going to nitpick. Anyway, let's jump in here, and hopefully you guys will find this entertaining and funny and whatever.
We bring the battle to the enemy.
Med 2, eh? Ah, my childhood returned. Let's hope I can remember how to play. Howdy generals, and welcome to More War, our laid-back, no stress voyage into all that is Total War. We're not here for cheese nor genius, just a bit of old-fashioned fun.
Oh, they're not here for cheese or genius. That's it, I'm out of here. No, I'm just kidding. If people want cheese, they come over here. If they want genius, you're not going to find that anywhere in Total War. But anyway, totally fine with whatever difficulty they're playing on. Want to play a medium difficulty? I don't think it makes that big of a difference with Medieval 2, so I don't care about the setting. What I'm interested in is the actual decisions that they're going to make on the actual campaign and on the battlefield. Like I said, not going to nitpick.
And what could be better than a romp across medieval Europe? I'm Will White, senior content producer, which means I'm part of a team that makes marketing videos, and I bet you can't guess who I'll be playing as. England, short campaign, medium difficulty, maximum silliness. Let's dive in, make some mistakes, and hopefully piss off the French. Agents everywhere. We'll deal with you in a bit. First, we'll liberate York and Ren from rebel scum. But I also want to do some settlement management, so King William, Prince Rufus, and Robert will all be remaining in their respective towns until we've got a few more family members.
Okay, thing to note on that. Now, when you install a fresh installation of Medieval 2, it will have the setting enabled by default, and I highly recommend that you turn it off, where you can't build anything or manage the taxes in your settlements unless a general is garrisoned inside the settlement, like a governor in there. I would highly recommend you turn it off. Now, even if you don't turn it off, you can still just click on the settlement and just tick, I'm going to manage this one anyway. But especially in the early stages of the game here, it is absolutely vital that your characters are attached to your armies for multiple reasons. For one thing, they're going to get better traits faster if they're commanding in actual battles as opposed to sitting in settlements. A lot of the times the settlements that they could potentially, the traits that they could generate sitting in a settlement are largely dependent on what buildings are there, such as brothels and universities and whatever. And in the beginning stages of the game, none of those buildings are built, and so there's no possibility for them to gain any substantial traits. It'll take them a very long time. And in the very early stage of the game, most of these characters only have 1 or 2 points in any of their particular stat, like chivalry or anything like that. So the amount of money that they're going to produce as a governor bonus isn't even going to cover their own wages, which is roughly around 250 florins. And the amount of population growth is 1 or 2% at most. So it'd be much better to put them in an army, to command them, be chivalrous if you want to be chivalric, and that way get your 7 to 10 chivalry general later down the track to sit inside of a settlement and massively boost out the population growth. And that can be their retirement if you want to do it that way. Or, go out and be absolutely brutal and get your dread up and have them be a great conqueror. But there's also another effect that's really important for Medieval 2. This wasn't a thing at all in Rome 1, But in Medieval 2, your armies can defect to just rebels at any time when you hit the end turn, and it's based on their loyalty. Now, it takes two stats into consideration: the loyalty of the army, which is based on the loyalty of whoever's commanding it, and also the authority of the general. So the authority adds as an additive bonus onto the character's loyalty. Now, all captains have a base loyalty of 0. There's no way to increase it or decrease it. That's just what their loyalty is. Now, at loyalty 0, you've got a very high chance of defecting. Now, if your king has an authority of 3, well, that would then mean that they have a loyalty of 3. Now, at 3 loyalty, there's still a pretty decent chance of defecting. Now, it's very, very rare for any other characters, like actual generals, to have a loyalty lower than 2, short of, just ones that you generate later down the track due to man of the hour or just get unlucky, that kind of stuff. But the ones that you start off with, they're usually going to have 5 or 6 loyalty, especially if they're like the prince. And so putting them in your army basically guarantees that they're not going to defect. Because at the very first turn, how bad would it be if this entire army just turned rebel the moment you hit end turn? That absolutely can happen. So there's loads of reasons for getting them to command the army. There's not really a hell of a lot to sit there and build stuff, which you could just do anyway by just overriding a default setting, which is, I guess, just there for role-playing purposes if you really want. So it's entirely up to you. But yeah, from a strategic point of view in terms of the game, this is a colossal mistake. But let's keep going.
Which brings us to Cecilia. We'll be shipping my charming daughter off to Norway to find her a suitor.
Okay, so another colossal mistake. A lot in the early parts, but don't worry, there's good stuff as well. Norway, there's no major factions there. Denmark is close by, but he didn't say Denmark, he said to Norway. No major faction there. It's rebel-controlled settlement. There's no rebel general there. Who are you going to marry her off to? So these are edited videos. If it was a live Let's Play where they just, I misspoke. I meant to say I was sending it off to the Holy Roman Empire. You could fob that off. But this was edited, and they could have checked to be wait, is there a faction in the Grand Campaign for Norway? No, there isn't. You just go there, and maybe Denmark has already gotten there first. But still, Norway doesn't exist in the Grand Campaign, short of mods.
As soon as we've trained up another diplomat. Meanwhile, Richard, our barely capable spy, is going to scout Wales and Ireland and keep an eye on the dastardly Scots. South and Lawrence, a good diplomat, will get some trade going with France, while Samuel, a bad merchant, is going to go and stand next to that wine. Let's face it, Samuel's got the best job. We'll build some roads, docks, and clear land where we can. Begin the siege.
Okay, so in terms of the construction, no issues with that. Typically, I like to build the land clearance first, because you're not making a hell of a lot of money from these settlements early on anyway. And while trade is very important, trade is a multiplier on your population, so getting your population up first kind of gets you to a bigger trade bonus quicker that way. Whereas if you focus on the trade, you're not going to get your population growing quite as quickly. Even though trade can provide you with a population growth bonus, you won't get that in the early game by just building up the ports. Plus, you can trade internally from at least from England, from the roads there. So maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit, but overall, the buildings that they're choosing, the economic ones, totally fine. No problems with that whatsoever. Maybe with the castles, you might want to go with military buildings early on, because increasing their economy is not that important, since that's where you want to get all your good troops from, rather than the cities. But again, nitpicking with that kind of. But anyway, let's keep going.
Ren and start the battle for York. I learnt my lesson in the Shogun 2 Let's Play about not trusting the auto-resolve, so we've sent a sneaky team of spear...
Not trusting the auto-resolve is a very good call. In Medieval 2, it can be extremely random. Now, I think the auto-resolve result and how random it can be is actually based on your campaign difficulty. So if you're playing on medium difficulty, then auto-resolve will be a bit more reliable. As in, if it says even, you got a 50-50 chance. But yeah, I've seen battles where it's 90% in my favor, hit auto-resolve, crushing defeat. So if you watch me play Medieval 2, you see I very rarely auto-resolve. But another thing is that if you are going to auto-resolve, you should probably have a general command your army. It does make a big difference because their command stat, I think, massively impacts on your auto-resolve results.
And archers around the back of the village and made them into a rebel sandwich. Yum. Oi oi, eager beavers, the French rebels have sallied out of Ren to do battle on the field. It doesn't look good for us, but I reckon we can take them, and my general's dead.
Okay, so this at first might seem like, oh my god, you made a mistake. it's not a big deal as long as his forces don't rout. Like, that captain literally means nothing, except for just a little bit of morale. Especially considering he's outpowering them to begin with. As long as he wins the battle, it's fine. This character means nothing. You'll just be replaced automatically. You got no opportunity to get a man of the hour. So this is nobody that died, basically. But another thing to note is that the general was put inside the peasant unit. So the captain, that is, the captain unit. Now, the captain unit's stats is actually based on what unit it's attached to. Now, if you had any cavalry, it always prioritizes the cavalry over the infantry. So even if the cavalry was over here, it should still end up being the captain. Otherwise, it always prioritizes the unit which is in this slot here. So if you wanted a better captain, you put the spearman in there, or even the archer, because at least this one here should hopefully be protected. But yeah, you don't get a whole lot of time when they sally out to actually make a decision. You get a few seconds. So it's not a colossal mistake that you got the captain killed there. Especially playing on medium battle difficulty, it's probably not going to impact on the morale too much. And again, any units that get captured, as long as you win, you just get them back anyway, so no big deal.
Thankfully, the cavalry's the only real danger, and we're chock-block full of spearmen.
He's correct, that's the only real
A bit
danger.
of holding the line, a bit of flanking, and before long, we're boxing them into the gate. Their general goes down, and unlike my brave men, theirs instantly give up. Cowards. A wee while later, Cecilia's found herself a nice fella.
Okay, so he said he was going to send him off to Norway, but what ended up happening was just like a candidate showed up, because that was not a there's no character that he could have married her to. Like, there's no Holy Roman Empire dude or Danish dude or Norwegian dude. So yeah, he's put her on the boat, and then she just ended up getting married by an event. So it ended up being moot point anyway.
Let's not think about the fact he's 47. Richard's done a...
Which, another thing on that is that he would have had the option to accept or reject that particular candidate. So you could have said no and waited till next turn. It just randomly generates like a bunch of stats. That sometimes it'd be a 16-year-old dude. Sometimes it could be a 50-year-old dude. It's up to you.
Surprisingly good job scouting out the Welsh garrison. We've diplomats sailing the known world, and Samuel's still standing next to the wine. Good job, Samuel.
So we can see here that he's had a riot in Ren despite the green face there. So that's a turn 7. So there's been like 6 turns since the first turn. That army's just been sitting there. Got to wonder, maybe he occupied the settlement and had it on super high taxes and then forgot about it, and then it was red-faced. But the game's UI is pretty good with this stuff. Like, you see red-face, turn down the taxes. There's nothing else that really could have caused any massive public order differences, so he must have done it kind of deliberately, just pumped up the taxes, and then massively lowered the taxes. Like, this could be at blue or yellow face, to maybe get medium taxes. So I don't think he's doing a great job of managing the that I just realized he's not able to manage the stuff manually. So the auto thing is doing it. And wait, no, it isn't, because I mean, unless the character that he married is there, but the character he married would have gone to the capital, would have gone to London. So unless he was ferried over here over the past 6 turns, which could have happened. Again, we just can't see. But yeah, there would otherwise be like a mechanical wheel that's yellow if nobody is in there, unless you turn the setting off, which again, I'm not entirely sure.
Another few turns and we'll have kicked these Welsh rebels out of Caernarvon. Dublin's next, then we'll roll on it.
So you should never leave your settlement. So you can see York over here. It has absolutely no garrison. It's very easy to tell when there's garrison, when there isn't. This flag here, like a square flag, means nobody's in there. That means that Scotland could come in here with 1 unit and just capture it. The AI's, if they're not at war with you, probably not going to do that, but why leave it as a risk? Especially with a walled settlement, at least you can buy you some time just by having 1 peasant unit in there. And the thing is, the moment you put something in for recruitment, they get recruited instantly the moment you hit end turn. So I hope that that's what he does there, although I don't see a recruitment thing there, but it's a bit cut off. Also, the public order is not particularly good. Having no garrison whatsoever will incur a pretty hefty public order penalty.
Into Scotland. We'll send one of our cogs up the coast to ferry the army around and focus on...
Yeah, so nothing's recruiting there, and we can see he still has that setting on because of the gear wheel there. Nobody's managing it.
Our towns on training stronger units. Something tells me the Scots won't be easy. Probably because I'm English. I praised Samuel too soon. He's been run out of business by...
The red construction icon simply means that he's queued up a bunch of constructions and that it's just moving on to the next one and it hasn't started it. It's not that big of a deal.
Dutchman. Not uncommon, R.I.P. Samuel.
Oh yeah, this is like completely normal and nothing that he could have done would have changed it apart from save scumming. I mean, this is unbelievably common, so not his fault.
Elsewhere, on an attempt to sneak into...
Okay, alright, I gotta rewind that bit there. Okay, so let's just go back here a moment.
R.I.P. Samuel. Elsewhere...
Okay, so Dublin, he's gonna spy on Dublin, right? Chance of success 50%. Now, the whole purpose of putting a spy inside a settlement is so that they can open the gate. If you're thinking, oh, but what about scouting the garrison? Well, you can actually get it, know exactly what's in there from just standing outside the settlement. Now, with the chance of success, that means 50% chance that he'll get inside the settlement and 50% chance he'll fucking die, right? That's how it works. Spies can be really damn fragile. Now, the thing is, Dublin has no walls, meaning there's no need to send a spy in there to open the gates. So he's risking his spy's life for nothing here.
On an attempt to sneak into Dublin,
There are no gates. This animation, there's no walls there.
Richard fails to keep his mouth shut whilst pretending to be a bush and gets stabbed.
Watching from the shadows, sire.
Also not uncommon, R.I.P. Richard. We replace Sam...
So yeah, he died for nothing there. I mean, the only reason that you would want to do that is to increase the experience of your spy. But again, on a 50-50 chance, it's not particularly high. And again, you fail, you die. You have to recruit a new spy.
Samuel with a fellow called Thomas, who is immediately accosted by the same Dutchman. Thankfully, Thomas is...
Yeah, so remember how I made that video, like, where you shouldn't recruit merchants in the early game? Because this is basically what happened. Because that merchant sees the assets of your first merchant, this merchant is now better. Like, he's got better traits. Meaning the next time he wants to seize a merchant, he's going to have a higher chance of doing it. And so what you're doing here is you're not only just feeding money to another faction, but you're making their merchant a better merchant. So just, like, send your merchant somewhere else. Just stop sending him to, like, give that faction money. Like, you're not getting a return on investment here at all.
Too stupid to be run out of business and somehow recruits...
Like, okay, to put things in perspective, 20 florins per turn. Costs you, what, 550 to recruit a what's it called? A merchant. So it will take you a very long time in order to get your return on investment. Obviously, sitting on there, you will eventually increase your wealth by a fair bit. But it's not a very good return on investment, especially when you're just giving that straight over to the enemy.
The Dutchman. Talk about failing upwards. Either way, good job, Thomas. Right, now let's kill the Welsh. They took that personally. Very personally. With a siege tower and battering ram...
So I do want to point out as well that, while it doesn't seem like the battle's going that well, large wooden walls, so like the tier 2 walls, are extraordinarily dangerous to deal with, especially if there's a reasonably sized garrison, which Caernarvon does have. So the towers are super bloody strong. They're actually more powerful than the next tier of towers, like Stonewall. So that is actually very likely to happen, where they'll burn down your rams, burn down your siege towers. They can't burn down the ladders, but they'll shoot your men. So usually, if you've ever seen me assault a settlement like this, I like probe them constantly to try to wait until the towers are just not there, so I can get them up on the walls, at least get a foothold before I commit the attack. Because yeah, otherwise you'll end up losing a lot of siege equipment and a lot of men just to the towers. Again, that's more of a cheesy thing. I wouldn't have expected him to do it, but yeah, these kind of towns here, like large towns or the small castles. Wooden castles are actually extremely dangerous to assault.
And destroyed, our only way into the settlement is our ladders. The plan was get the gates down, sweep into the city with a cav, force the Welsh back onto the victory point and surround them. Instead, we've had to fight for every inch of the walls, whilst our knights sit uselessly on the outfield. Eventually we get inside, but by then we've been decimated.
I see, George. Our men have slain the enemy general.
Not what I'd call...
Yeah, so that's a pretty terrible result. But, you know, he was assaulting a wooden castle, so you would expect to take more casualties than you inflict. It can be done a lot better though, and you can see it as well. It probably took about 25 minutes to fight the battle.
All a success.
Not a big deal.
And whilst we were fighting for our lives against the savage Welsh, the Scots waltzed on over to Ireland and pinched Dublin out from under our noses.
Still nobody commanding this army. I don't think he's fought a single battle with any of his family members so far. It was just pretty funny considering in the future Total War games from Rome 2 onwards, every single army has to have a commander, and here we have Creative Assembly playing it. You know, it's like sort of admitting it's better to not have a commander when they forced it in later Total War games. And they're like 13 turns into it, and none of the commanders, none of the actual family members or generals have ever fought a battle, at least as far as we've seen. It's just all been captains.
Looks like war with the North is coming sooner than expected. I don't think I'm ready for it. But in for a penny, in for a pound and all that, we've snuck Henry over, who's one relation or another, and we're taking Dublin. Scottish rage be damned.
Okay, so if he had got the spy in there, because the Scots, they took the settlement and they built the walls, then it would have actually have been useful for him to at least potentially open the gates. Whatever.
It looks an easy fight, so we'll trust the auto-resolve, and just like that, Dublin's ours.
Funny thing to note on that, they was actually making the right call, because if you just go back a little bit here. So Prince Edward here. It is likely with 56 men that he has no additional. Oh wait, look at that! He's actually got somebody commanding his army now. So he brought them over. Okay, well good. That's a great way to get them experienced. So 16 turns into it. Okay, right. So looking at this, he probably doesn't have any other additional units attached into that. If you're in a situation where you've got an army and you're besieging a settlement and they've only got a general in there, if they've only got a general's bodyguard, auto-resolving usually yields fantastic results for you. Like a general on their own performs really badly in auto-resolve, but if you fight it manually, they will probably kick the shit out of your army because they're so friggin' strong. But in auto-resolve, by themselves, they're absolute rubbish. So he made the right call by auto-resolving it.
Auto-resolve, and just like that, Dublin's ours.
Sire.
All right, now the ball's rolling, we can ramp things up. Focus on getting ourselves a better army and marching on Edinburgh, and the Pope said no. Stop fighting or I'll be excommunicated from the church. This is not ideal. Fine. Whatever, we'll go back to fighting rebels. I'm watching you, Scotland. But I'm also watching you, Bruges, and whilst we set about ridding France of rebels, Prince Rufus will amass a mighty host in York. Pope be damned.
I like the sound of that. I usually ignore the Pope as well. Another thing to note, in that the amount of relation that you lose largely depends on the context of when you're fighting another Christian faction. So, for example, if they're standing in your territory, they're trespassing, and you kind of actually have permission to launch the attack. If they attack you, then you shouldn't be losing relations with the Pope, although it is kind of skewed towards the player always losing relations with the Pope. Building churches and stuff like that will increase relations with the Pope. Also sending a diplomat down to just give the Pope some bribes, but you got no money, so no big deal. That can help mitigate it. But yeah, when it comes down to a cease hostilities mission, 7 turns is a long time to not fight someone. And so if you can keep that relation as high as possible, the Pope will usually not threaten you with excommunication as long as you have really good relations with you. But if your relations drop towards a certain point and you're still fighting other Christian factions, then he might threaten to excommunicate you, at which point, just do it anyway. And then go and kill the Pope and put your own Pope in, if you want.
Oh, the rebels sally out, but joke's on them. I'm rubbish at sieges, so this is much more my speed. Yeah, you've got knights and lance poles and all that nonsense, but I've got a child's grasp of tactics. So who's the real general here?
Truth be told, assaulting Bruges is an absolute pain in the ass. So I don't blame him whatsoever for trying to get them to sally out. That's exactly what I would do in the situation. Deliberately besiege a settlement with an inferior army, so they go, oh, we can beat that. Because, yeah, when the AI sallies out against you, those battles are actually remarkably easier than pretty much any other type of battle, because they come out super disorganized pretty much every single time and make, ridiculous mistakes and allow you to, shoot at them quite easily. And with this kind of army that you've got here, also note that the Hobbler there is the one that was made the captain, as opposed to anything else, even though he's not in this particular spot here. Some battles he's using control groups, some battles he's not. I don't really care. I don't think using control groups makes you better or worse at the game. It's just a preference thing.
Bruges is ours. Antwerp is next. Surely this will impress his high royal popiness, and he's joined an alliance with Scotland. Or so I thought. Funny how a little misunderstanding can change the course of history.
Leaving the fleet.
No matter, we're killing rebels, we're good little Christians. Look, we're even putting non-believers to the flames, just like God wants. I'm sure the Pope will be just as interested in an alliance with England as he is with he rejected us.
Hang on a second. Let me just go back a little bit. The Pope is not allied to Scotland. He doesn't have any allies. What was this other notification here? I didn't really pay attention because I never pay attention to that stuff. The following factions have declared that they are allies. Right. That's the Holy Roman Empire. That's not the Papal States. Okay.
Or so I thought. Funny how a little misunderstanding can change the course of history.
Leaving the fleet.
No matter, we're killing rebels, we're good little Christians. Look, we're even putting non-believers to the flames, just like God wants. I'm sure the Pope will be just as interested in an alliance with England as he is with he rejected us. This is the...
But didn't it say it was like demanding? Yeah, the game's telling you he's not going to accept it. Like, you have to have it at least balanced. Otherwise, like, why would he accept it? I mean, it's not super good diplomacy, but at the same time, like, anybody who's played for 5 minutes would tell you they're not going to accept that.
As he is with he rejected us. This is the start of my villain arc. Reject me, will ya? Yeah, we'll see about that. Raybert of bowl haircut's about to be rejected from life. Yes, rain, storm, reflect the darkness of my hurt.
Okay, so if you're going to put the entire army in a control group, then do you need the control group at all?
Typical. I can't even set up sneaky ambushes without being interrupted. This is all the Pope's fault.
He's right about that. It is actually all the Pope's fault. Completely right about that.
Sorry, Raybert, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and your speedy death has stolen the heart of your men, leaving your ballista wide open. Ah, beautiful. A sea of white and blue.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue and run them down.
Yes, I think I might indulge. Death to you, and to you, and to you, and to you.
Your infantry aren't going to catch them. The cavalry will.
Ah, that was cathartic.
Oh, come on. Tell me you're going to do it. Pull a Legend of Total War and execute them. It looked like you actually got like 85% of them. Don't ransom. Oh, they wouldn't be able to afford the ransom anyway. It's too early in the... They probably won't be able to afford it. Yeah, if they can't afford it, they will get executed. But I would deliberately execute them just because that would increase my dread, and dread is so useful on the battlefield, but that's me.
What would the Pope do?
No! Please! Spare!
Oh, best decision he's made so far. Yeah, and he wiped out the army, and he's got a draw out opportunity. Oh, he's actually making some good moves here.
Probably not that.
Glorious victory is ours, sire.
He also probably wouldn't invade Edinburgh.
All of Christendom will gain.
Or kill a prince. Twice.
Victory is ours.
I don't know, some of these popes are fucking assholes. I think some of them would do this stuff, to be honest.
Or reject a peace treaty.
No matter. We shall not hold that against you.
Nor would he invade Inverness.
It is then, sire.
The only reason the Pope wouldn't invade Inverness is due to inability to do so, not due to the not desire to like gain more assets. He's kind of in Italy, but the papacy was known for like constantly trying to get more territory and get more assets and get more money and stuff like that. They were extraordinarily greedy. Sorry, they are extraordinarily greedy. It hasn't changed. But anyway.
Wiping out every last... missed one. The Pope certainly wouldn't destroy an entire nation. We are not the Pope.
The Pope would, actually. Depending on the Pope.
Unsurprisingly, His Holiness doesn't like us very much.
Easy fix for this, just give him a bunch of money. That's all they want, just give him a bunch of money. You got a bunch of money there, just give it to him and that'll fix the relations. Start a crusade if you haven't already.
But he does like France. and that poses an issue. Well, because we want France. So here's the plan. We assassinate the Pope. Don't give me that.
He's 59 years old. 2-3 turns tops. Don't bother. Just wait until the next Pope. It's like, why? Like, your chances of assassinating him are fucking zero, right? You gotta recruit an assassin for one thing, get him over there. By the time he's there, that dude is definitely dead.
Look, he started this. We tried to be friends. We went all the way to Rome.
So just to put things in perspective, as soon as a character reaches old age at the age of 60, their chances of dying every turn is pretty friggin' high. The chances of him making it to the age of 65 is extraordinarily low.
And he spat in our faces, so no, this is personal. Besides, the next Pope might be more sympathetic to our cause. Operation Ultimate Sin, Step 1. Hire an assassin. Meet Jasper. I don't have much faith in Jasper. Step 2. Plop Jasper on a boat and send him off to Rome. Bon voyage, Jasper. Step
him
3.
like 20
hire
years
a
to get
second
there.
assassin for when Jasper inevitably fails. Step 4. Prepare for war with France. We'll do some city management and some army management, and oh, the Holy Roman Empire wants a bribe. Well, we're not ready to fight them, so fine, I guess.
Rookie mistake. They do that, and they sometimes won't even attack you anyway, even if you deny it. So, and sometimes if you accept it, they'll just attack you anyway. So just never accept that. There's no reason to do so. Like, I've literally had them, the AI factions, they'll be like, accept that we will attack, and they ask for a bribe, and you give them the tribute, and then on that exact same turn they attack, which cancels out the tribute. So just always reject it, because it's so unreliable. You only ever lose by playing into that.
Step 5. Be attacked by France. What? France? What? Why? What the hell, France?
No, it's good. You want them to attack you. That way you're the defender, and that way they lose relation with the Pope, not you. So this is a good thing, although you're not ready there, but you should have units at Caen in order to intercept them pretty easily. It's not like that's a big army.
We had a stepsister. Why is the Holy Roman Empire coming this way? I don't like this. Step 5. Bring the main army over to the mainland. Look, France, if you're going to declare war on me, you could have the decency of fighting me instead of prancing around like a bunch of peacocks.
Okay, so same with ballistas in his army. Do whatever you want, but I don't advise recruiting ballistas, because every unit in the game, that's basically 3 classifications of campaign movement range, basically, with cavalry, infantry, and artillery. Cavalry being the fastest, infantry being medium, and artillery being the slowest. Putting artillery in your army slows you down significantly, and in Medieval 2, being able to catch your enemy is pretty damn important. So yeah, you only be able to move from like here to here, and that's your entire turn's movement. Whereas if you left that behind, you could probably hit them, beat them, and then also besiege Paris. Build the siege equipment that you want, and then have this one catch up on the next turn. And the thing is, it wouldn't really destroy the walls anyway. So ballistas, recruit them if you want. They're extremely low value units. They can actually be detrimental as opposed to positive. I would only recruit them if I had nothing else to recruit, which is usually not the case.
Don't do it, Holy Roman Empire. I bribed you.
What did I just fucking say? I told you. Although, how many turns ago was that? I don't know. Because obviously it's edited. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to go back. So
Don't do it. Yeah, they did it. Great. Great. Kill the Pope, step 6. Let him die of old age. My master's...
Told you. It's so I mean, you could sit there and say, "Oh, but imagine you've already watched all of this." This stuff, come on. If you've played Medieval 2, you know nobody lives to 65 in Medieval 2. It's like you have to save scum in order for that to happen. It's so unlikely. Very predictable outcome, considering how far your assassin had to go to get here, and also the chances of success would have probably been so low that it wouldn't have actually allowed you to attempt it. It would have been like you're like 0% chance. You actually can't attempt this because. The chances of success obviously are based on a subterfuge, but also based on the rank of the character you're trying to do. Kings tend to have extremely low chances of being assassinated, so yeah, you're not going to do it.
Stroke come to fruition. I love it when a simple 6-step plan comes together. Now, bonus step, vote for myself to become the next Pope, and His Holiness has found your favourite one.
So yeah, when it comes to voting in a pope, you should always vote for whoever you think is going to win, even if it means voting against your own interest. One thing that you can do, and Melkor's actually got a good video on this. If we just go back to here, you can actually click on these banners here, open up diplomacy without the need for a diplomat, and actually buy a vote. So you only need to have the majority votes, so basically half, because usually all of the AI don't vote for you unless they're actually allied to you, which doesn't look like anyone's allied to you. So you would need to, you get one vote with this. There's, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means one seat is currently not filled, because I think you get 13 total, so one of them, yeah, the Scotland one hasn't been replaced. Because, well, Sicily has 2. I don't know, I'm not keeping track of the stuff. So yeah, you would, for 12 there, you'd be safe with like buying 5 seats, I'd say. It seems unlikely that that Milan isn't going to vote for themselves, and so you would, at the worst case scenario, this one here would gain the additional 5, which means if you're at 6, you win. But yeah, if you just hit that one there, whoever, if you didn't vote for the one who becomes the Pope, then you lose relation with that Pope. So basically what I would do in this situation here is just vote for Sicily, because it seems like that's the most likely one to win, and yeah, and then I would just kill that Pope afterwards.
Myself to become the next Pope, and His Holiness has found your fave wanting.
I would have been wrong. Very much wrong. So yeah, it would have actually been Milan in that case. Hey, but Spain voted for you, so that's something. You had equal votes with, yeah, you were tied for second place. So how about that?
Yeah, at least Spain likes us. Well, congrats to the new Pope. Just like the old Pope, Operation Ultimate Sin is still a go. Yep, warlike, I can believe it. You're
60 years old. He's dead. Before you arrive there, he's dead.
going down, Popey boy. Think you can manipulate me, join Scotland and... Holy Roman Empire. Why is that there? Oh, no. It was at this point I realised I'd made a blunder. You may recall when I was outraged that the Pope had joined an alliance with Scotland. As it happens, I had confused the Holy Roman Empire for the Pope. So
I've made this mistake before. At least they recognized it, so it's all good.
I've been holding a lot of hatred towards the Pope, who is now dead, and I can't make amends for that. I can only avenge him. And what would the Pope want? But for copious amounts of death and destruction committed in his name, and obviously for Operation Ultimate Sin to continue. I think that's what he'd want. I think so.
Victory is ours, sire.
I'm not seeing any issues with the tactics. Pretty standard, but it's fine. The only issue I have is seeing this damn ballista. Really shouldn't be in the army. Not helping him, I'm sure. Getting like 1 or 2 kills in the entire battle. But as far as his tactics are concerned, it seemed fine.
Behold how our cowardly...
Correct decision. Definitely. Yep, that's what I would have done. So in this instance here, where you're at war with the Holy Roman Empire, they're allied to Milan. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Never mind.
Hold on. Oh, Popey boy's dead again. He didn't like...
Very predictable outcome, because they very rarely live beyond 60 years old. That's when they have the old age tag, and that's like 50-50 chance they die each turn. So very rare for them to get to 65.
That's long, did he? Looks like we've got another shot at the throne, lads. Let's go for it. And His Holiness will not suffer your name to be spoken loud in his presence.
I mean, just repeat what I said last time. I would have voted for Venice. They got the most votes. They're always going to vote for themselves. It could be the other one as well.
All right, Dick.
Yeah, I would have been right on this case here. And it wouldn't have improved your relation with the Pope that much, but it wouldn't have decreased it, that's for sure. Especially considering also the faction that gets elected in, their relationship to you actually matters. So if you were at war with Venice, then voting for the Venetian cardinal, well, they're still going to hate you because you're at war with their main faction. So you've got to take all that stuff into consideration.
Well, better luck next time. Back to warring. Okay, I see how it is. I guess new Pope didn't get the memo. France started this war, not me.
Another thing to note is that if the Pope is old and you get excommunicated, and you have the threat to get excommunicated, you can risk it because when the Pope dies, you become forgiven as long as you're not at war with the papacy, in which case you won't be forgiven. You've got to work towards getting forgiveness. One way to get not excommunicated is to actually get your king killed. So if your king is old, that is another thing that whatever, a couple of turns of excommunication, no big deal. So looking at these factors before you make these decisions can factor in how long are you going to get excommunicated for, because a couple of turns is no big deal.
But, okay, fine. I can lay low for a turn or two. I've been neglecting my northern properties anyway, so it's a good time to convert Caernarvon into a town and see about creating a more robust economy.
That's a good decision. You've got loads of castles inside of Britain here, and typically speaking, port settlements, or any access to the sea, make for better cities than castles because you've got access to a lot more money-making potential, whereas castles significantly hinder the max potential of your economy. And you don't really need to be recruiting from settlements that are far flung. So having your castles on your frontier is best because, for one thing, they're more defensible, and that's where you want to bring in your troops a lot quicker. So yeah, turning that one into a city makes sense, unless, of course, your budget, when you don't have that much to begin with, because converting a settlement does cost a fair bit. And you can see here, most of these other settlements aren't building anything. So I would have prioritized building something in every other settlement before I bothered even converting another settlement. But that's kind of nitpicky. But when managing the economy, that stuff does matter.
Further away from the front lines. Though with a smaller military presence, I can't rely on force to keep the Northmen happy. Oh, hello, Portugal. How are you? Hey, whoa. Wait, what the gosh darn are you doing, Portugal?
This is actually completely standard. Portugal is pretty much hard-coded to do this in every campaign, which is ahistorical because England and Portugal are actually longest alliance in the world. But yeah, Portugal almost always invades England for some reason. So this is actually completely predictable.
I've done nothing to you, nothing. This injustice will not stand.
Actually, what he did there with the tactics was... Hang on, let me just go back. I mean, it looks like he's going to lose the settlement, but he had a decent number of troops in here, and it looks like he flanked them from the... Let me just watch this bit again. Yeah, he got his... Okay. So he's got cavalry holding the front here, and the infantry are coming around that way. How did they get out of the city? Were there ladders over here that they climbed up here and then down? Because they can't do that. Or is there another exit out this way? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, how did he get his infantry all the way out here? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, they should have been standing at the gate and then have the cavalry rear charge them there. That should have worked quite well. And then it clearly didn't. Because everyone's... Hang on, let me just go back a bit. Right, okay, I see what's happening here. They were reinforcing. They didn't start inside the settlement. Because you got a general here. This is the main commander. He's inside the settlement. And then these two here, they were reinforcing. Maybe these three. Yeah, these three here were actually outside the settlement. Okay, that's how we did it. Just need to get the context. Because, yeah, you got two captains. Oh, you got a general and a captain.
Okay, maybe it will stand for a bit. Who knew knights were significantly stronger than peasants? But it's fine, our reclamation force will show them what's...
Do you know what's funny is if he tried to convert that to city, because that would be fairly expensive to do so, and he didn't cancel it before that assault happened, you lose all the money.
What? In the meanwhile, we'll be able to fight France again in the next turn, so let's give them a bloody nose. Oh, come on. This new pope, he's testing me. Let's see how he likes a knife in the back. Operation Ultimate Sin's closing in, and King Rufus isn't the young man he used to be. Perhaps being excommunicated wouldn't be too bad. I don't want France to recoup too much strength, who does? The risk feels like it's worth the reward.
I agree with him. I think he's made the right call there, especially if he's recognised that King Rufus is kind of old. Good decision.
Oh, go on then. I need to treat myself more. I deserve nice things. Womp womp. The church doesn't want me, but I want Paris, so, you know, what you gonna do? Ah, Paris, the city of love. As in, I love launching ballista missiles at it. We're going for a two-pronged attack. Team 1 draws the bulk of the French defenders to the front gate, whilst Team 2 assaults the eastern walls.
Okay, so just a little bit nitpicky, but the AI, if they've got artillery, they will use up nearly all of their ammunition before they begin the main assault, unless you harass their artillery, and he's just going straight for it. Now, obviously, you know, not cheesing or anything like that, but I'm just saying the AI does it, so I feel like if the AI does it, it's not really cheesing if you do it as well. And typically speaking, if you've got artillery and you could shoot at the gate or shoot down the walls, you should, it's not really going to help to have them fire while your guys are up on the wall, because you're probably going to hit your own guys as well, so just not making a great decision with that, that's all.
The battering ram has done
Like, if you're not going to use the ballistas properly, why the fuck did you bring them? Just don't recruit them. They're totally not worth bringing in the first place.
its work. Now it's
Plan A. Team 1 gets the gate down quick like, and our cavalry swoops into the city, giving our melee the opportunity to squeeze through. Unfortunately, the
Looked
French
like there was a fair
Team
few
1 at the
spearmen
gate, so
blocking
we're
the way
forced to
there,
pull our cavalry
so
back and let the
not a
billman
good
get
idea.
stuck in. No matter, Plan B. A sacrificial lamb in Team 2 keeps the Frenchmen distracted on the walls, whilst we bring the eastern gate down and rush the victory point. Plan B has legs, and soon King Louis is ordering his forces into the city proper to defend the victory point. All according to plan. From there, we need only hope Team 2 can hold the point long enough for Team 1 to back them up. Shouldn't be a problem. Louis, how desperate you must be to throw yourself upon my spear. Yep, there he goes. Poor King Louis. Well, as insult to injury, I'm going to use my longbowmen in melee because they're out of arrows, no?
You know, you can use them in another battle afterwards. The bounce power's in your favor. You don't need to do that. So yeah, that's definitely dumb. I'm sure he's about to be like, don't judge me right there, just predicting that. But yeah, definitely going to judge that as a bad decision, because longbowmen are really fucking good archers, and why would you throw them away like this? Like, is this the last battle you're ever going to fight? In which case, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's not good.
Judge me.
Totally going to judge him for that. There's no reason to send them into melee. You're already winning the battle. Why throw good men away when you absolutely don't have to? It's like, why would you do that? But whatever. And people are like, oh, Legend, I wouldn't want to be in your army. You're so mean to your troops. Yeah, well, I wouldn't throw them away like this.
With Louis dead and the bulk of our forces filling the square, victory's only a matter of time.
Yeah, look at this. There's a longbowman in melee. Ugh. No, there's no need. You're winning. You haven't got enough melee units. That's what they're for. That's what these guys are for, is to go into melee. That's their fucking job. These guys are there to shoot. They're out of ammo. Cool. Just sit back and wait until the next battle. Okay? You can restore your ammo, but you can't just auto-replenish their lives. You have to send them back somewhere to go get retrained. No auto-replenishment in Medieval 2 apart from generals. That being said, we didn't suffer too many casualties on the archers, but still, shouldn't have done that.
awed by the victory we have won.
Paris belongs to England, and Reims isn't far behind. New contenders reveal themselves, even as we chase French.
That's an indication that a crusade happened. If we just go back to that for a moment, that's like a clear indication that a crusade happened. So yeah, when you've got like a whole bunch of factions declaring war on a Islamic faction like this, I would say there's a pretty damn good chance that a crusade occurred. I mean, there would be a notification here, but it could have been the previous turn that the crusade actually happened. I mean, we don't have huge amounts of information here, but yeah, that I would say so.
Even as we chase French stragglers away.
Because the thing is to keep in mind, right, is that in order to declare war on someone, it's not like in Warhammer. You can't just like open up diplomacy and be like, I declare war. You actually have to attack them. But if you just join the crusade target, that automatically puts them at war. Again, I'll just go back again. Because like it's a clear indication of it. Like the Holy Roman Empire just probably is not bordering Egypt. For Venice, Poland, and the Holy Roman Empire to be bordering Egypt and simultaneously all actually attack like with a port or attack one of their armies is extraordinarily unlikely. But having them all in the same term join a crusade, especially when the Holy Roman Empire is actually allied to the Pope, that makes a lot of sense. And you're excommunicated, so you can't join the crusade. Yeah, I'm spending too much time on this.
French stragglers away.
Forensicing it.
Some
5 peasants, still fine to execute. All good. I have no complaints with that.
of our enemies make outlandish demands.
So I'm just trying to see who's asking it from who.
Whilst
Oh, hang on. I wanted to see that. And who's asking you to become a vassal? Okay, so the Holy Roman Empire is asking England to become a vassal. You could actually benefit a great deal from accepting this because you don't have a whole lot of money on your reserves. If you're in a lot of wars, right? Because they're allied to France, that would drag you out of the war with France as well. And then what you could do, because you're already untrustworthy, you're already excommunicated. What you could do is just immediately attack the Holy Roman Empire again. You don't end up paying them any money, and you stay out of the war with France. That way you can just focus on that war. Bit cheesy to do that, and you'll lose reliability, but this is no big deal. Or
whilst
reputation.
others make more sensible ones. And though we play silly
Okay, so another thing is that if another faction asks for a ceasefire, it's almost always considered very generous. So he didn't check, but pretty much you should, when offered a ceasefire like this, counteroffer and squeeze them for anything you can. But usually, so meager wealth, you could probably get a little bit of money out of them, not a hell of a lot. But it should say very generous, if I had to guess.
And though we play silly buggers at sea, on land, France is gradually chipped away until
I proclaim His Majesty, the King of England, as High King of the English Empire and Protector of Christendom.
Already the achievements of the English Empire and its greatest leader have passed into legend. The once divided land now stands united under the greatest king who was ever born.
oh,
this
come
throne,
on.
the destiny
Well,
of the
you know, I
world
try.
is
Do your bit, don't you? You put one foot in front of the other, and you end up building a kingdom. It is what it is. I'm not a hero. I'm just me.
Yeah, to be fair though, a trained monkey could play Medieval 2. It's really quite an easy game. It's like, not trying to diminish his achievements. It's not a difficult game.
But that was nice, that wasn't it? But yes, let's continue, because I have unfinished business. Operation Ultimate Sin. Time to die, Mr. Poe! Where is he? What? Pope? Curse you, Pope!
I'm pretty sure he's standing outside the settlement. Like there. Yeah.
Curse you. Be sure to join us next time as Andrew and I go head to head in Empire Total War.
Boring, not watching that one. Anyway, so that's the Medieval 2 one. I don't really like Empire Total War, so whatever. Go check out the Total War official channel. Chuck them a like for doing the stuff here. It's good to see that they're putting in a bit of effort with the 25th anniversary videos, going through their archive of games. Would be good to see them maybe understand their games a little bit better. But honestly, I don't think you did a terrible job as far as, you know, other displays of skill that I've seen Creative Assembly do, it wasn't the worst. So he made some good decisions, he made some bad decisions. It is what it is. You know, probably hasn't got freaking 10,000 hours in the game like I do. I know the game like the back of my hand to a large degree. So I don't expect him to have conquered the entire world in 50 turns. But, you know, I think he did all right. Anyway, go check him out. The link will be in the description. Maybe you guys have already watched it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty entertaining, so I thought I'd give it a bit of a shout out and a bit of a react. Anyway, let me know in the comments below how fair or unfair you thought I was with the commentary on this. I ended up extending it out 55 minutes, like 3 times longer than the actual video itself. So yeah, I don't think Creative Assembly should DMCA strike me, because it should be fair use, but whatever, we'll see how we go. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about Medieval 2. I really like Medieval 2, so send me some more fucking save files. Anyway, later guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.